Hi, it's Catherine, and when I was going through my drawers the other day, I found this, and this is one of the first sketchbooks I've ever drawn in before I started taking art, like, seriously, and it's probably the most cringy thing I've ever done. So, what better way to treat it than to, show it to the internet? So, here we go. This is my, first real sketchbook. It's kind of going to be like a art critique slash sketchbook tour kind of thing, I guess. Anyway, prepare to cringe. Oh my god. Literally the first thing in here is a minion, and as you can see, these pages are torn out from... I've used this journal for other things, and then I'd get bored of it and rip it out. But a minion, like, not even a good minion, like, what is this eye? I just get rid of it. Oh god, alright, so here we have this fox, and if you can't tell, he says, oh hi, and hi is spelled improperly because kawaii, and oh my god, what is that nose and those eyes? And you can tell I didn't have any idea what I was doing or any kind of experience whatsoever. Like, I didn't even Google things. I was just scribbling and just next page. Somehow, it keeps getting worse. Another self-portrait, and I was kind of trying to do the Adventure Time style, I think. And then Bill Cipher looking... Dear God. I remember drawing these. These are traced from WikiHow. Oh no. Look at how low those eyes are. Look at how weird they look. Oh no. Oh no. This is so tragic. Just when I think it's can't get any worse. There's no nose. And this one has like a Steven Universe nose that's like and those hands. Oh, those hands, and just the proportions, and why do they not have boobs? Okay, here's a self-portrait. I have a shirt that looks kind of similar to this, but not really, and it's not quite as bad as the other ones, but what's up with the head? Why is the head so, squished in? Did I, have an anvil fall on my head, like in one of those old cartoons? And why are the eyes so small? Like, what's with the small eyes? And this was me trying and failing to draw a man. And, this is my first original character. Get ready to see her a lot, because she pops up everywhere. Her name is, Nova, I believe, and she's meant to be this sort of, witchy character. Like a modern-day witch, almost. I don't know, honestly. Here's another boy that looks much better. I remember I was so proud of this mermaid, and this man, for that matter. But they're not great, and they're also not terrible, but again, why am I making the eyes so small? I was clearly trying to replicate a sort of anime style, but the thing about anime characters is that they all have giant eyes that take up like a third of their head. So this was me trying to do a sort of Gravity Falls style, and it's not good at all, but it's also not the worst thing. Hello again, Nova. Here's another boy. I was again super proud of this, even though he looks identical to the first one. And this was a robot I called Eve, and she took forever to color from what I remember. Oh god. This was me trying to draw characters with their eyes closed, and as you can see, I failed. They're so, like, high up, like, I do remember, I was looking at different, techniques, like, online in tutorials, but I thought I was too good for them, and I was like, screw it, I'm gonna do my own thing, No, I would go back and slap myself in the face if I could. Here we have two cute little animals that are really weird, but whatever, and this is a rag doll with the worst shadow ever. Like, it looks like it's like floating, and then it says forgotten. What does it mean? I don't know. I was an edgy child back then. Alright, I actually kind of like the idea of this one, but once again, it's still awful. It's a ballerina who's like chained down and has puppet strings attached to her hands. And this was something I also didn't complete because, let's be real, this is way worse than everything else in the entire book. Small eyes. So small eyes. This was written around a time I was in this book was kind of filled out around the time during musical, and during musical I was eating a lot of pizza, which normally I wouldn't complain about, but I was kind of starting to get sick of it, so I documented that feeling in a picture. Pizza today. Pizza forever. This one, again, the concept is not bad, but it looks bad. So here I have a bride that's like facing away, and she's supposed to be like crossing her fingers behind her back, and I have lyrics from the classic I Write Sins Not Tragedies around. What a shame, the poor groom's bride is a whore. I like the concept, like, it's a good idea, but this face will haunt your nightmares. This is a tracing I did from a book cover. If you don't know, that is Bone from the Bone series, and this was a book series that I really loved when I was a kid, and if you haven't read it, I would totally recommend it if you like sort of unusual fantasy kind of things. Like, it's kind of like generic fantasy, but everything's kind of switched around, like where like the weird looking creatures act more like modern people than the people do. It's hard to explain. You'll have to read them. Trust me, they're actually like really good from what I can remember. And this is me practicing. Yeah. What? What is that hand? Oh my god. Oh my god. Anyway, this was meant to be a picture of a female Ghostbuster, no relation to the film. And here I drew a picture of Oswald, that like old Disney character. I like copied it from like a video, and then I tried to do the same thing with Mickey, but it didn't turn out well at all. Oh, look, it's Nova, guys. And this was a drawing I did of Echo Gillette, and if you don't know her, she's a very popular YouTube person and probably one of my biggest inspirations because she's pretty cool and awesome, and this was me trying to copy the art style on her channel banner, which used to be just a picture of her in this sort of style. I thought it was an interesting style, so I wanted to try and document it, but the eyes are so small. Like, everything in the face is just, like, pushed way too far up in all of these drawings. Dear Lord. I had once heard somebody say that when they draw, they just draw a certain shape and then go from there, so I tried to do that with a square. It didn't look good. Anyway, another generic boy who looks almost identical to the last ones. And this was meant to be Nova again, and sort of a fancy prom dress sort of thing. And then this is basically the purple girl with different colors. And the eyes are getting bigger, but they still don't look quite anime-ish like I was going for. This was meant to be a girl who had some sort of telekinetic powers, which is why you see the floating oversized pencil and teeny tiny Rubik's Cube. And the little scribble underneath is meant to be her shadow. And this was me trying to do chibi. Yeah, I'm not gonna say it was good, but I was so frustrated with it, even though it's probably the best looking thing in the entire book. At least the eyes look kind of alright. This is a base that I never finished, and if you look at it, you can tell sort of how far my planning went in, like, this is kind of what I would have called my style at the time, like all young artists say, which is no planning except for these lines across the face, because that's what the real artists do. And look, that's supposed to be a breast. Again, Nova. You can see slight improvement as it goes, but still, it's still pretty bad. Like, ugh. Hello again, Nova. I was really obsessed with this character. I don't even remember, like, the story behind it or anything. To draw tears, and as you can see, it's no good. And this was meant to be more of a princessy kind of person. I loved drawing these kind of half up, half down looks. As you can see, this is supposed to be a bun, and this is supposed to be the rest of her hair with a little bang. Just looking at these pictures just lets me know how far I've come. Oh boy, this is me trying again and failing to do chibi. And I was trying to do sort of the Sailor Moon mini buns, I think. I think so, I'm not sure, but at least I was trying to draw an ear this time. Oh, this is supposed to be turned down. I actually like this idea. Like, I have good ideas sometimes, they just don't come across well. Like, this is supposed to be like a bed, and then there's these big shadow hands crawling out from underneath it, like trying to get out. Like, I like the way these hands are drawn, kind of. Like, they almost look like a child drew them, which a child did draw them. I don't know. I might redraw some of these. And here's a weird combat lady with the worst ponytail ever and a nasty scar. Here's this weird kind of alien lady. Like, from what I remember, I wanted to give her eyes that were square, with square irises, kind of like a goat, and antennas that sort of blend into her hair. Like, these aren't bad ideas, they're just not conveyed well. In fact, I'm actually tempted to go through the sketchbook and redraw some of the better ideas that I've had. Boop. This is a generic girl, and this is a creepy girl. Here we have a singer, who I started coloring and then stopped. And here we have a girl in a kimono with a little flower. Once again, not terrible, just not good. And from this point on, I kind of just gave up on drawing my own stuff entirely and just started tracing from that same app. So girl, weird generic boy, soldier of indeterminate gender, and a girl with glasses. Some weird punk emo version of Misa Misa, and swaying lopsided girl. Upset child, and serious one. I was so happy with how this one turned out that I started drawing her like everywhere. Like every time I went to a restaurant with like the like placemats that like stretched across the table, I would just draw her repeatedly with crayon and like draw her in all of my notebooks. I was like obsessed with this girl who's not even my character. This guy is super cute. He's just a little stoner man with a beanie. So, moving on. Here's another weird character, and I've seen this girl around a lot, but I don't know what she's from. So if somebody could tell me, that would be great. But, she was on this app, and I feel like I've seen her in like like memes and GIFs and stuff, but I have no idea where she's from. And that is the end. Thank God. Alright, let's do a little bit of compare and contrast. Remember this guy? The little abomination from the beginning of the video? Let's compare him to this more recent drawing I did of Cinderella. Like, look at how far I've come. Like, if young artists, if you ever feel self-conscious about your work, literally just go back to the first thing you ever like attempted to do well, and then compare it to something you did more recently, something you're really proud of. Like, it's actually kind of insane how much this has improved. Here, like, let's compare this weird sort of manga wannabe girl to this actual manga girl that I kind of improv'd on the spot. Like, the highlights are kind of weird, but they're still miles above this. For those of you who are aspiring to be artists, like, don't be afraid to make cringy stuff. Like, I just did a whole video dedicated to it, and at the time I thought it was good, and you know what? It's not, but that's okay. What matters is I took it and I improved on it. Anyway, I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please just let me know, and with that, I'll see you in the next video, I guess. Bye!